Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel at NDN TV Nigeria. Click on the subscribe button and be the first to get notifications.
As reactions continue to trail the recent move by Shell Petroleum Development Company Limited to sell its onshore assets to an indigenous oil consortium, experts suggest that beyond the concerns, the development will open a new regime in the oil and gas industry with huge economic advantage to both the region and the nation. The experts agree that it is an opportunity for local companies with high-level capacity and financing to acquire and manage the assets, leading to the maximization of their potentials and improve working relationship with host communities.
Mixed reactions have continued to trail the recent announcement by Shell Petroleum Development Company Limited of Nigeria, SPDC, to sell its onshore assets to Renaissance Consortium made up of some indigenous players in the oil and gas industry like ND Western Limited, the joint operator of OML 34 in Western Niger Delta, for a total of $2.4 billion for its 30% stake in 15 onshore and 3 shallow water oil mining licenses. The recent exodus of oil and gas majors from the Nigerian market has opened up space for local players to fill in the vacuum and make their mark in the business, with the local operators now responsible for about 50% of gas production and 30% of crude oil output. Speaking with Insider Niger Delta Crew recently, Professor of Economics and Acting Vice-Chancellor Ignatius Ajuru University of Education, Rivers State, Professor Okechukwu Onuchukwu, says the rise of indigenous players will not only diversify the industry but also create jobs and boost the local economy.
If the companies are fully running very well the way they've been running, and then we don't repatriate, currency, the profit outside, and profit is retained here in our, local currency, then you see that the value of Naira will begin to appreciate.
Experts also observed that the gap in the technical know-how that had relegated the indigenous players in the sector previously is no longer a challenge, noting that they now have the finance and manpower to properly manage the inherited assets.
Of the thing we have gained now is that we'll be able to achieve technological transfer by making our people now to begin to do what they usually do.
Since these leaders of the organizations that have bought these facilities of Shell have been part of us, and they have known the yearnings of our people, and they have known where our interests are, I expect that better things will come.
Though the deal is yet to receive the assent of the federal government, environmental rights advocates and concerned groups within the oil region have been unanimous in demanding the settlement of lingering environmental issues before the planned move. National President, Host Communities of Nigeria Producing Oil and Gas, HOSTCOM, Dr. Benjamin Tamaranebi, observes that aside from these environmental concerns, the takeover by indigenous players is a welcome development.
If someone is leaving and allow the indigenous to take over, but let the indigenous companies should be able to act and meet up the requirements, not to hide under the indigenous that the indigenous companies are not faithful. No.
However, workers in the industry who are worried about what becomes of their fate in takeover deals like this have expressed their concerns, calling on the government to ensure that all issues bordering on welfare of workers are attended to before finalizing the deal. Experts say their fears are not unfounded, therefore must be given priority by the indigenous consortium taking over SPDC's facilities.
I'm saying that the movement of Shell shouldn't be like that of Ajib, where the fear is that most of the people that were employed initially will be unemployed, and that what is due them for what they have put in or working for, Ajib, will not be paid to them.
It is no doubt that the recent divestment by oil multinationals has created an opportunity for indigenous companies with the capacity to step up their game. Leverage the new framework put in place by the federal government known as the Petroleum Industry Act (PIA), to make their mark in the industry and improve the quality of life of largely backward communities within the oil-rich Niger Delta and boost the nation's economy while looking at environmental sustainable energy sources in the future.
Inside the Niger Delta,